What's going on, everybody? Bendable Straw's back with another Envoy video for you guys, and today we're going to be going over the Orchis raid team. That's right, we're going to be going over the new stats, the uniques that we don't have because of obvious reasons, and we're going to be going over the viability that they're going to have in other game modes. So starting off with Nimrod. Nimrod will be a villain global tech blaster, Orchis war ready. At G1955 level 100, Nimrod has 5.5 million health, 369,000 damage, 177,000 armor, 63,000 focus, 56,000 resistance, 150% crit damage, 40% crit chance, 120 speed, 0 dodge chance, 0 block chance, 25% block amount, and 100 accuracy. Recommending Raider for Nimrod. Starting off with the basic, it is Hunter's Beam. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 280% damage and apply defense down for 2 turns. This attack is unavoidable. Moving on to the special for a 3/3 ability energy, Future Blitz. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing. Flip all positive effects to negative effects on each target. This attack gains 25% piercing per Sentinel reinforcement ally. We'll go over that in just a second. Apply ability block to primary target. In raids, you will apply stun to primary target and apply ability block to all mutant targets. This attack cannot be dodged. And might I tell you, there are a lot of mutants in that Orchis raid in the tech section, let me tell you. Moving on to the ultimate, Eradicate, a 3 out of 5 energy cost. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 400% damage, apply defense down for 2 turns, and disrupted for 2 turns. In raids, this attack gains 100% crit chance against all mutant enemies. Definitely want to have him as a raider. This attack is unavoidable. Moving on to the passive, on kill, gain stealth. While this character has stealth, gain 30% damage and 30% crit damage. Gain 10% speed for each summoned tech ally. Now, you can summon with Ultron and you can summon with Doc Ock. It's just something to maintain and be considerate of. You could probably play around with that. We're going to have some gameplay videos coming out very soon, hopefully. In raids, Orchis allies gain 10% speed for each summoned tech ally up to a maximum of 50%. On successful attack by this character or any Orchis ally, apply heal block to each attacked target. If this character has 4 or more Orchis allies, lower the dodge chance of all enemies by 100%. This is why you don't want to swap out Ultron or Doc Ock or any tech summoner, you know. You just want to be able to just go in with the entire team and wreck shop. And it's going to be a good one. All right, that does it for Nimrod. Moving on to Omega Sentinel. Omega Sentinel is a villain global tech support Orchis war ready. Recommending Raider at 5/5 at 636,000 power. Omega Sentinel has 5.7 million health, 358,000 damage, 177,000 armor, 56,000 focus, 65,000 resistance, 150% crit damage, 40% crit chance, 125 speed, 0 dodge chance, 0 block chance, 25% block amount, and 100% accuracy. Do not know the unique of Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, and Sentinel because they haven't updated the test server for obvious reasons. Moving on with the basic, this is Omega Beatdown. Attack primary target for 240% damage. Rebound chain to 3 adjacent targets for 220% damage. Apply regeneration for 2 turns to self and all Orchis allies. In raids, this attack deals an additional 30% damage. Counter attack breaks this chain, and this attack is unavoidable. Moving on to the special Cyborg Assault 3/3. Apply regeneration to self and all Orchis allies. Apply defense up and speed up to self and all tech allies. In raids, apply defense up for 2 turns and speed up for 2 turns and offense up for 2 turns to self and all Orchis allies. Heal self and all allies for 15% of this character's max health, and heal self and all Orchis allies for an additional 10% of this character's max health. It's a lot of good sustain there. Moving on to the ultimate Nano Blast. 5 out of 5 energy. Attack all enemies for 170% piercing. Bonus attack all enemies for 170% piercing. Apply stun for 2 turns to 2 random tech enemies. In raids, instead, apply stun for 2 turns to all tech enemies. Heal self and all allies for 15% of this character's max health. Heal self and all Orchis allies for an additional 15% of this character's max health. This attack is unavoidable, so plenty of healing for the team in the ultimate and the special. Moving on to the passive, Living Sentinel. On turn, and each summon tech ally's turn, heal self and each Orchis ally for 10% of this character's max health. If that ally's health is full, instead barrier that ally for 10% of this character's max health. On mutant enemy turn end, attack the most injured enemy for 100% damage, and in raids, attack for 300% damage instead. On death, 30% chance to revive with 30% of this character's max health. In raids, if this character has 4 or more Orchis allies, enemy characters cannot gain defense up. If this character does not have ability block, this character and all Orchis allies cannot gain slow. For each tech summoned ally, gain 35% revive chance and revive with an additional 10% of this character's max health. And you will lower the max barrier of all enemies by 20% in raids. Absolutely loving Omega Sentinel. Moving on to Sentinel. Sentinel is a villain global tech protector, Orchis war ready. He is 6'6" because I pressed the button before starting testing. I meant to leave him at 5'5", but that video will come later, of course. Recommending Fortifier for Sentinel at 656,000 power. He is at 6.7 million health, 377,000 damage, 226,000 armor, 62,000 focus, 67,000 resistance, 130% crit damage, 10% crit chance, 107 speed, 0% dodge chance, 0% block chance, 25% block amount, and 100% accuracy. Starting off with the basic Sentinel Blast. Attack primary target for 270% damage. Apply offense down. Apply counter to self and all Orchis allies. Moving on to the special. Summon 1 random Sentinel reinforcement ally with an energy cost of 4/4. Attack primary target for 250% damage. Bonus attack 3 times for 100% damage. Apply defense up for 2 turns and 2 deflect to self and all Orchis allies. The possible summons will be Sentinel Reinforcement Gun and Sentinel Reinforcement Sword. Looking here at the summons, this is Sentinel Reinforcement Gun. The Sentinel Blast will be attack primary and adjacent targets for 220% damage. In raids, reduce speed bar by 10% on primary and adjacent targets, and you will gain taunt. All right, and Mutant Hunter. This is for the summons here. On spawn, flip all negative effects for self and all Orchis allies. Or actually, this is a passive. In raids, on turn, generate 1 ability energy for a non-summoned random tech ally that is not in a full energy. On turn, if Sentinel is an ally and has died and is currently not an ally, revive Sentinel with 30% base health, then attack self for 100% of this character's max health, ignoring death proof. So pretty much he just blows himself up and Sentinel comes back. On non-summon tech ally turn, fill speed bar by 5%. Moving on to Sword, Sentinel Reinforcement Sword. It will be Sentinel Blast, of course, on the basic attack primary target for 320% damage. Flip 2 positive effects, 2 negative effects. Apply bleed to primary target and gain taunt. So it sort of feels like how the Ravagers had, like they have somebody there and then they have somebody else that's taunting. But then they added a little bit of mix-up with that revive, right? Because it's going to happen on both of them. It's going to happen on both of them. As long as one of them is alive, bada bing, bada boom, here we come. And of course, the stats for them for Reinforcement Sword is 5 million health, 359,000 damage, 173,000 armor, 75,000 focus, 55,000 resistance, 130% crit damage, and everything else as the same Sentinel. Moving over back to Reinforcement Gun, it will have the same stats as the other summons, so that in itself does not change over. Moving over to Sentinel's ultimate, it also summons, oh my goodness, this is a 4/4 elimination protocol. Summon one Sentinel Reinforcement Gun ally and one Sentinel Reinforcement ally. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 300% damage and apply offense down. This attack gains 50% damage per Sentinel Reinforcement ally. The summons are Reinforcement Gun and Reinforcement Sword, and this attack is unavoidable. And of course, we just went over the 2 Sentinel summons, so that is going to be pretty wild. This is the first character that I've seen summon on a special and on an ultimate. Going on with the passive, Mutant Hunter on spawn and on revive. Summon one random Sentinel Reinforcement ally, of course. Another summon. Possible summons are Reinforcement Gun and Reinforcement Sword. On this character's first turn, gain Taunt, apply Safeguard for 2 turns to self and all Orchis allies. In raids, if this character has 4 or more Orchis allies, enemies cannot gain Death Proof. This guy is an absolute treasure in the raids, let me tell you what. Gameplay footage coming very soon. Alright, so let's see. Who is up next? Moving on to Scientist Supreme at 7/7, level 100. Recommending Striker for Scientist Supreme at 826,000 power. This is a villain, global tech support, aim, Orchis, and war ready. 7 million and a half health, 452,000 damage, 247,000 armor, 91,000 focus, 89,000 resistance, 130% crit damage, 10% crit chance, 118 speed, definitely much different from when it was at base. 0% dodge chance and 0% block chance, 25% block amount, and 100% accuracy. It is such a good rework to Scientist Supreme. Now, Scientist Supreme is going to be the Tesseract and or Infinite Energy. That unique we do know. Starting off with a basic of Serum Pistol. This is attack primary target for 240% damage, apply offense down and defense down, and slow. This attack is unavoidable. On the special, 3/3 Field Trials. Flip all negative effects into positive effects for self and all allies. For this character and all aim and Orchis allies. Apply regeneration for 2 turns, apply immunity for 1 turn, increase the duration of all positive effects by 1, up to a maximum of 3, and heal self and all allies for 15% of this character's max health. Moving on to the ultimate, it is by far my favorite. Heal self and all allies for 20% of this character's max health. In raids, heal for 30% instead. This is a 3 out of 3 energy retro vaccination. For all enemies, attack all non-aim and non-Orchis allies. Apply offense down for 2 turns, apply defense down for 2 turns, apply slow for 2 turns, and in raids, you will apply trauma with everything. All of that becomes a trauma offense down, defense down, and slow. It is insane. Apply speed up for 2 turns to self and all Orchis allies. This attack is unavoidable and gains 500% extra focus, so it is not necessary to be a skirmisher. Mad Science is the passive on spawn, fill speed bar by 50%. So that that speed jump and speed bar gain. It's gonna be really, really nice when you guys see that during gameplay videos. On turn, generate 2 ability energy for all aim and Orchis allies with a negative effect. 25% chance to revive an ally with 30% max health. And that is outside of raids. Oh my goodness. On ally summon, generate 1 ability energy for all Orchis allies. In raids, generate on spawn, Generate 3 ability energy for self. On spawn, generate 3 special ability energy for all Orchis allies. This character and all Orchis allies cannot gain trauma. Mutant and bio enemies cannot gain immunity. Wow. That's nuts that Scientist Supreme got that much love. Oh my goodness. Moving on to Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike has a unique of Adamantium. At 834,000 power, Lady Deathstrike has 7,000,000.2 health, 497,000 damage, 209,000 armor, 86,000 focus, 66,000 resistance, 155% crit damage, 10% crit chance. Her speed is at 127. Dodge chance is at 0. Block chance is at 0. Block amount is at 25. And accuracy is at 100%. Lady Deathstrike is a villain global tech brawler. Weapon X. That's correct, Weapon X. Weapon X is about to get a lot of love with this lady right here. Orchis and War Ready, recommending Striker for Lady Deathstrike. Starting off with the basic Reaver Revenge. Transfer 1 deflect from primary target to self. Attack primary target for 250% piercing. If primary target has bleed, repeat this attack and apply defense down. This attack is unavoidable and gains 300% extra focus. Definitely don't need a skirmisher here. The special is Deadly Weapon, 3/3 energy. Gain offense up for 2 turns. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 200% piercing. Apply 2 bleed. Reduce speed bar by 20%. Repeat attack using a new primary target, randomly chosen from the previous secondary targets. The secondary attack can target stealth targets. On kill, increase the duration of all positive effects on self and all Weapon X allies +1. Up to a maximum of 5. Could you imagine if they did that for Orchis allies as well? Jeez. The ultimate is Adamantium Fury. With a 4 out of 6 energy. Attack primary target for 280% piercing. Apply 1 defense down up to a maximum of 2. And apply 2 bleed. Rebound chain for 4 adjacent targets for 280% piercing. Apply 1 defense down up to a maximum of 2. And apply 2 bleed. Clear all negative effects from self and all Weapon X allies. Apply immunity to self and all Weapon X allies. This attack cannot miss any target that has bleed. Wow. If this character has 3 or more Weapon X or Orchis allies, this attack cannot be countered. Moving on to the passive, Murderous Intent. On turn, heal for 20% of this character's max health. When this character drops below 60% health, gain 2 Deathproof and 2 Evade. Lower the resistance by 50% with enemies. For enemies with bleed, gain 25% crit damage. Weapon X allies gain 25% crit damage. And in war, gain 65% focus. Weapon X allies gain 65% focus. Gain 1000% resistance against bleed. And Weapon X allies gain 1000% resistance against bleed. My oh my oh my. The gameplay videos should be coming out very soon, so be sure to stay tuned for those. But of course, as all good things must come to an end, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about this Orchis tech team in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.